Hi guys, this is Crossy of Eclipse Gaming TV and welcome to part 4 of my Return to Greatness series on FM17 with Newcastle, and apologies for falling a little bit behind on the daily-ish uploads. For those of you that watch or have watched some of my previous FM series, you know this is a regular thing. I'm sorry. My plan is to try and get some episodes in the can. Haven't been able to do that. If it's any consolation, this isn't the first thing I've dropped the ball on. It's been 6 days since my last guitar lesson as I record this, and I haven't picked up a guitar once. He's going to be really mad at me tomorrow. Yeah, all good fun that we're trying to deal with, but it's the standard. I'm trying to push through as best I can, and I'm going to try and make sure I get some episodes in the can so that we can continue. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. Thanks for the comments, by the way, guys. A few of you loving the series, and good to see it back on the Eclipse Gaming TV channel. And yeah, it feels good actually. I'm enjoying it. We'll have a little look at how we're doing so far. So we're not looking too bad. We're only one position away from the playoffs. Of course, we'd like to do this automatically and get ourselves back into the Premier League in one season, but not the easiest thing in the world, as you can see with the Championship, with the amount of teams that are above us, and Brighton on 20 points, 6 points away from us. It's only 2 wins, and if we can pick up some points against Brighton in the second game against them, then I'm all for it. But it just shows how difficult it is going forward. Now, I'm sorry, I'm a little unfamiliar with Football Manager. I haven't played for a while, so let's jump into our fixtures. Couple of important games. We've got Aston Villa, who are second in the table, I believe, or there or thereabouts, and we've got Norwich, who are 5th. So 2 teams that we want to be picking up wins against, and then Rotherham are right down in 20th. So these are 3 must-win games. It says on the right, actually, Aston Villa are currently 4th. So we need to pick up 9 points here. If we're not doing that, then it is a backward step. It's going to be 2 tough games against Villa and Norwich, so I'm going to put out our best side, and then with a couple of days break against Rotherham, this is where we're going to see a little bit of rotation, I think, with the squad, and maybe a chance to see a few players that we haven't seen too much in this series so far. Christian Atsu is back, recommended to be limited to a maximum of 60 minutes of action. Gouffran out on the left has been doing okay. So I think we might end up with Gouffran getting the start, and Atsu has been given the start here as far as the game is suggesting. But what I'm going to do, I think, what kind of... yeah, okay, so Gouffran is looking fit and sharp. So what I'll do is I'll play him from the start, and we will rotate in and maybe throw Atsu on for the last half an hour, get him a little bit of match sharpness back. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, I have gone into the individual position settings, and I've tweaked it so that everyone in the back 4 is now marking tighter. We've lost a few sloppy goals as a result of that, because I haven't gone in and tweaked the setting and hadn't realised. So problem now solved there, and yeah, I'm fairly happy with how things are looking across the back 4, so hopefully this is going to do the job. Little handshake with my white suit, white tie, black shirt. Just had to go for it. All the pre-match, etc, etc, and we are now going to be underway. Also, for those of you that are still stuck with us after the epically long parts, I've figured out that by switching to key on the highlights and clicking through the menus nice and quick, I can get 3 matches into 15 minutes-ish. So that's going to be the plan going forward. The poll only suggested a few, well, there's only been a couple of votes on it so far, which you'll find on those early videos, and I did talk about it, but the vast majority of the 2 votes requested that we stick to 15-minute-ish parts rather than epics. And one of my favourite sort of YouTube content creators at the moment, who does FIFA and Football Manager series, is sort of streaming live and uploading 2 hours worth of Football Manager content. And to be honest, I haven't even sunk my teeth into it as much as I enjoy his FIFA series, which are chopped down to 15-20 minutes. I just haven't attempted, because I just don't have 2 hours to go and sit, and I'd forget where I was and all of that hassle. So yeah, I don't think that's the future. But that's Chesnoid Gaming. Well worth checking out, enjoying his FIFA and Football Manager stuff, and to be fair, was a big reason why I've decided to jump in again for FM 2017. I had a little bit of inspiration. But we're now 30 minutes just gone into the first half. No real chances for either side. Gouffran with the interception chance to get on the break now. Let's see what you can do. Dwight Gale already on a yellow card. Might have to think about moving him. He's our top scorer with 4. After that effort, you would be perhaps surprised to hear that he's our top scorer, but never mind. Always room for improvement. Can we get ahead just before half-time from this corner? Perez to Shelvey, who wanted some first-team football. And since Matty James, new signing, wasn't happy about my squad strength, in Dwight Gale hits the post, and is that out for a corner? Yes, it is. Couldn't slot the follow-up in either. I'll just come back from playing 5-a-side tonight, and in the form I was in, I probably would have finished that one first time, I'm not going to lie. For anyone is looking for a new player, I will more than happily take 100 grand a week to quit my job in insurance and just go and play in the Premier League. I really don't mind. Judging by Moussa Sissoko's effort for Tottenham in the Champions League that I was watching last night, £30 million player, well, I think I've got to be worth at least 20. Let's keep it nice and calm in the team talk. Just haven't really had the chances other than that one. Sorry if you're getting this lag, you almost definitely will be. In my infinite wisdom, I decided that I was going to stream off of a laptop. Even though it's a good laptop, and the main reason was so that I could stream and record, etc. while I'm away and play some games. And I'm away quite a lot these days and have been for a while, as we've talked about, for various reasons. Gouffran in behind, maybe could have just run onto that and got in way behind the fullback, but instead tries to head it into the middle, and there's no way that you're going to get the space to bring it down and get any kind of half decent effort off there. Right, so Gouffran, I mean, he's had the chances, but he hasn't really delivered, so I'm going to throw Atsu on for Gouffran out on the left. Matt Ritchie's had a super quiet game, but the amount of things that he can do for us and has done for us already this season. I'm also, after I've seen this attack, going to switch into attacking, because a draw against a team that are above us, we'll take it. By all means, we'll take it, but we need to be capitalising here. We need to be leapfrogging these teams. And I'm going to make that change now. 20 minutes left to play. There or thereabouts, maybe just a bit over. Might be half tempted to... Oh, Hanley. Oh, Jordan, he just slots him behind. Oh, well, that's horrible. Just misses the header. Right, okay. Well, now I've got some decision making to do. So, I think what I'm going to try... what choice? What a choice. I have to throw Mitra up. I'm thinking of doing a 4-2-4, but then if we've only got the 2 men in the midfield... I left it too long for that change. By the time the change actually comes underway, it's with 2 minutes left to go, which isn't a whole lot of use to us, but you never know. Perez to Lazar. Got to get up the field, boys. Tiote scored in the last match, I remember. Mitrovic. What? Mitrovic, what are you doing? What are you... Right, okay. Well, that's game over. So, not really sure what I did wrong there. Probably not a lot. We went attacking, we went for it, but, I'm not sure that did a whole lot for Grant Hanley missing that header that he needed to make. It was a delightful little ball in from behind, and reassure the players away from home against a team that are above us. There's no point going too hard on them. Okay, well, So I've got Norwich coming up next then. They are in 5th position. Looks like they might have been... Oh no, actually, that's where they were before anyway. Rotherham are climbing 2 places in the meantime. And so we need to catch them in a bit of form, eh? It looks like after these 3 fixtures in quick succession, we've got a little bit of a break before the next one. It's always a good thing. And just clicking through the pre-match, I'm not sure what difference that really makes in the grand scheme of things. It's one of those nice things to have, a bit of extra realism, but whether it adds a whole lot to the actual way things unfold, that's a different story. And the banter between myself and Alex Neil has been fairly upbeat. No one really sticking the blade in. Aside from a cheeky little, let's see, Christian Atsu recommended for 60 minutes. Well, I think I would quite like to have him on from the start this time, so let's go with that. Got, yeah, same side. Okay, so Richie, Tio, I'd say Shelby. Half tempted. Oh, what I might do actually, because we had it set up. Oh no, that's fine. Once playmaker. Just go change these roles a little bit because we get set up for Matty James and for. Yeah, okay. So let's switch it around then. Let's have Tiote in a bit more defensive role. Now, who else might need to change roles? No. Bang on right for Dwight Gale. Okay, let's get into it. Just got to remember that Atsu's still on the comeback trail. Players look like they're standing for the national anthem or something. Not for championship football. I've been to enough championship games. Definitely don't need any of that. It's all about a pint. And Lazar, well, he got himself in the book again. Surprise, surprise. Chiote already on a yellow, so he might have to make way. And again, it's another one of those games where we're coming up to half time and nothing has happened. Malumbu gets himself in the book for Norwich, but absolutely nothing. Right, okay. Well, let's G everyone up a little bit. Go throw Diame on for Tiote. And let's go again. See if we can create anything. Just one highlight, please, guys. And Lazar gets himself in the book. Surprise, surprise. He has recently come off a suspension for picking up 5 yellow cards in very quick succession. I think we've only played 9 games, which is fairly impressive in itself. Yeah, Diame is another one that tends to get in the book quite often. And I'm going to have to make another change here. Let's put Gufran on for Atsu. He's pretty much at the 60-minute mark, which is all I've been recommended to play him for. Hasn't created anything anyway, so not the end of the world there, really. And whose corner is this? Robbie Brady, back post. Tim Closer heads it in. Now what's happened here? This isn't the best position to see it, but there is no one marking him whatsoever. It seems like there's like twice the amount of yellow shirts than there are on the black and white. Another poor game from Dwight Gale as well, so I think we might have to make a change. In fact, we want to rotate against Rotherham anyway, so this might be a chance for a few other players to get a chance to show us what they can do. Kieran Clark's not had much football. We've got Jack Cole back, who hasn't played any football at all, I don't think, so maybe this is a good chance to see who else can perform. Goofrown with the ball in, and this is the first half chance we got to Dwight Gale. Can he put it in the back of the net? No, he can't. Dwight Gale. I think that just completes another bad day at the office for us. And why do I get the feel we're going to lose to Rotherham? Why do I feel like we're going to lose to the 18th place side or whatever? They'll probably climb themselves up to 10th or something after this now and be right on their tail. I bet they're going to be coming in top form. It's been just our luck when just not having the success. Seems like we have parts like this though. I always have parts where we just forget how to play football. Ritchie to Perez. Gotta move it, guys. And Perez goes for a bit of a long range effort. Nothing comes of it. And a disappointing result against the home fans. Definitely got to get after the guys a bit from that one. Haven't created anything. Right. Okay, well, let's get into it then. We've got one more game. Try and keep it upbeat. Squad unhappy. They're not happy. The management of the team want to talk to you about it. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can have a team meeting. Now this is difficult. I'm kind of wishing I hadn't done this because I can't go and lay into the players too much. Let's try and get them all on board. Okay, well, Mitrovic wasn't particularly happy, but everyone else was kind of cool. So let's take that as a positive, I guess. Not sure what kind of tactical change I'd want to be making anyway, because it just kind of works. The way that this team's set up, it just kind of makes sense all in all. We've got players in the right positions, doing the right thing. I definitely didn't want to try and make three at the back work. What a disaster that's going to be if I tried that. I don't think I've ever seen that work in a Football Manager series, to be completely honest. I guess I could maybe think about going 4-4-2, but with Matt Ritchie and Christian Atsu and Goofran at times, the amount of damage they can do out wide, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think what I will do, not only are we going to ring the changes against Rotherham, but I think I am going to just go – I'm going to go attacking from the off. Because I'll try and put Rotherham to the sword here. Just try and finish the part on a positive before we go into the international break. Especially now the players are starting to get down on themselves. They've got 7 players. Wishing mid-table in the championship. I think that kind of says something about how tight the championship is. Right, okay, so mentality is going to be attacking from the off. Go for a quick pick, and this is putting out the strongest side. Okay, well, that's fine. I can see that. I'm going to put actually, I'd give Robbie out the cup games, but we do still need to pick up points here. And what kind of changes can I make? I'm going to give Mitrovic the start up top. Perez, can he play out on the wide? See how familiar he is. Yeah, he could play on the left and the right. Okay. Can't limit him my wide options. I think Dwight Gale could probably play out wide as well. On the right, maybe? Yeah, he can. Okay. So what I'm going to try is I am going to throw in the hole David Nugent. And I'm also going to put who's fit. Perez is alright. Dwight Gale's alright. I'm going to see how it goes if I put Perez on the left and Gale on the right. So we've got a very attacking front four with the attacking formation that we're going with. Now, what else can I make in terms of midfield? I'm going to try and keep Hanley and Mbemba if they're both fit, which they are, because it was disastrous when I didn't. Matty James, stick you in, and then let's also stick in Jack Colback. I think this is the first football Jack Colback's going to play for us. Let's see if these guys are in the best positions for them. Well, that's fine. It's Matty James good as an attacking playmaker. Central midfield's better for him. Okay. In the support role. Okay, great. Well, we've got enough attack up here. Change these player roles around a bit to make it work. Play Mitra as a target man with all these attacking options around him. And see what we got. Just got to quickly text the Gulf. Make sure I'm not going to get in trouble for not replying. It's getting in trouble with everyone today. Let's get into it. Let's see what kind of win we can get here. There's Nugent. There's Matty James. Out to Gale. Jesus Gomez in an attacking position. Ooh! Wow, okay. That beat everyone. That shot from outside of the box didn't beat Matt Sells, though. Perez. Oh, he's looking dangerous. Good shot. And yeah, he's very lively from cutting inside from the left into the centre. Seems to do a better job doing that than trying to pull the strings in the middle, actually. Something I'll have to think about. But then we've got Christian Atsu out there. And we've got Matt Ritchie, who, when we're not having one of those parts where we can't create anything, so lively, creates so much havoc for us that kind of want to stick with it. Nugent, kind of regretting the dream of David Nugent in his prime, slotting balls into the back of net, left, right and centre down in the lower leagues, or just out or just south of the Premier League anyway, because he hasn't delivered the goods for us at all so far. Dexter Blackstock, Christ, is he still playing? Bit of blast in the past there. Coming up to half time, and we've only had 1 or 2 chances, literally. Nugent, what can he do with it? Just gets taken out and falls over. Reminds me of having Emil Heskey all over again. These ageing strikers that used to do some serious damage. Clearly got a bit past it. And Blackstock, how's that happened? Ball in. Ghosted in between the 2 centre-backs, and this is the problem. I mean, that ball where Taylor crossed it in, way back from, back here somewhere. I mean, from there, how are you supposed to be beating 2 top-class centre-backs, even though we're not in the Premier League? And that shouldn't happen. Let's G the boys on. And I don't really know what it is. I'd be quite happy to hear your feedback on it, guys. Drop me some comments or messages or that sort of thing. Is it a tactical thing? Is it because we're just going for the attacking formation and they've been caught out of position? Is it like Football Manager being a little unrealistic? Is this the way that things actually go in the Championship, and just because I don't watch it, I'm not expecting it? I don't know. But it just seems like whenever we have a Football Manager series, the goals that we end up conceding just don't seem particularly realistic. Nugent, nearly managed to get in there. Lazar to Colback, to Matty James, up to Nugent, who gets dispossessed again. Just got to get out your feet a bit quicker, Dave. Let's try again. So Perez, cutting inside to James, trying to find a bit of room. Finds it to James, who hits it first time, and Mitrovic, squeaks it under the goalie. I'm not sure how we've managed that, but we will take it. And we've moved up to 14th, I think. Moves up to 14th. Quite how worried is that we were 1 point away from playoffs before the start of this part. David Nugent, his first goal for the club. Yes, it is. Yes, Dave. I knew you were the right call for us. I knew it. Knew you'd prove us all right. In the end, Colback out to Perez, who is working wonders out on the left. I've got to say, Lee Camp can't handle the pure power of David Nugent's finish. Now, I'm half tempted to switch the formation and basically park the bus, but Mbemba tripped him in the box. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, well. Matt Sells, please. Just put us out of our misery. And he does. Sweet. Okay. This is tense. This shouldn't be tense. We will be get promoted in our first season. We shouldn't be struggling against the bottom feeders like Rotherham, who are down with very little points on the board. And okay, we're still good. Dwight Gale out on the right's done nothing. Maybe this is the time for a change. James to Mitrovic. To Nugent. Colback just taking his time. Mitrovic finds Matty James, who scuffs it wide. Glad we spent $2.5 million on you for you to go and throw your toys out the pram because we didn't strengthen the squad enough for your liking. Not that I'm bitter about it or anything. Right, so Dwight Gale, 6.7 rating actually, just hasn't influenced a whole lot, so let's have you off, Broseph. More through to Brown. Oh, come on! Are you kidding me? Calls for offside. Well, I'm not going to see from that angle, am I? But No, he's level. He's being played on. Keeper doesn't come. No one closes him down. And these are our first choice back four, or first choice centre backs, and our first choice back four that we've kept in for this game. I can't believe that Grant Hanley and Chancel Mbemba can't lock this thing down in game. I refuse to believe that that's not the case. So it's got to be something tactical that I'm doing. Got to have a proper look at this before the next part goes up. Go try and crank out a few tomorrow my time to try and get enough in the can and make sure that there are regular daily episodes. And maybe this is a chance for me to take a little breather and just look at what the options. Oh, come on. So we're down to 15th. In other news, that's exciting. Well, let's take a look at the tremendous amount of damage that this part's managed to do as Nugent tries to pop one from about the halfway line, but unfortunately he's not Steph Curry and this isn't basketball, so that's just catching practice for the goalie. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for which team I can switch to in the next couple of weeks, because I've made a right mess of this one already by the looks of it. Okay, well, let's post-mortem this, shall we? So, we are now 16th in the table on 14 points. Brighton are 13 points ahead of us already. Aston Villa 10 points ahead of us, and we need to be getting ourselves now into the playoffs at a minimum where we are 5 points away. Now, I don't think we've played Ipswich at all this season. Let's have a quick look at the fixtures really quickly before we call end this part, if I can manage it. So we've got Ipswich actually coming up as the last game in the next part, and we haven't played them yet, so we've got them towards the end of the season. Okay, so this is a chance for us to make up a bit of ground on them at least, and just hope that the teams above us aren't going to start winning. In the meantime, I promise to have a look at the tactics just a little bit more and see if there's a few other tweaks I can make as far as our defence goes to make sure that we stop letting in these ridiculous goals, because the goals that we're creating, the chances we're creating, it's not really defensive frailty from the other teams, it's more we've had to create them. Against us, it's just mistakes. Bad marking, missing headers, letting people run in from behind, that sort of thing. So there's got to be something I can do to correct those. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. That would be great. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. There's great Football Manager stuff. I want to try and revisit FIFA and get you some FIFA parts up as well, amongst other things that are all in the pipeline. So thank you very much, and hope to see you again for the next part very soon.